What is going on, guys? Good evening. It's your favorite mortgage lender, Abdel Kwame, Got Mortgages, with another episode of our Got Mortgages podcast. I was just shooting this we're about 5 minutes in, and we ended up losing power. They must be doing some type of construction around here because I was seeing some on our Ring, neighborhood watch that there was just people constantly losing power, and we're usually pretty good, got a backup generator, but got kicked out, which is not fun. And now we're kind of running off the generator. All right, I'm gonna dive in again, super deep. I don't know, some of you guys might have missed the past recording, so I'm gonna start again from the beginning. Again, losing power always freaking sucks. A lot of mixed data messages when we talk about the employment report, right? The prior report we got on inflation. We saw inflation is slowing down, which is obviously a good thing. We obviously are really anticipating what's going to be the costs when we talk about tariffs. Tariffs is obviously a very important thing. Hasn't hit as of yet, or will it hit? Is really the topic of conversation. The Fed's going to meet next week. Of course, that's going to be a big driving force for them. Are they going to potentially give us any insights into maybe a potential cut? Or obviously, we know we got this big, beautiful bill. I'm going to dive a little deeper into this when I did record a 6-minute video diving even further into this. It's on our YouTube channel. So make sure you guys go and check that out. But prior to this, we're going to go into the BS report, as I call the Bureau of Labor Statistic report. Refer it to BS because it is BS. I mean, honestly, you can't tell me that the private payroll ADP report showed a loss of 33,000 jobs, which was the first time since March of 2023. And all of a sudden, BLS counteracts the exact opposite and says, no, there was actually 147,000 jobs. Now, remember, this report is obviously flawed, right? You start seeing a lot of different reports on this specific topic. It's a household survey. They are not actually getting raw data analysis from this. And the one bad thing, though, is the unemployment rate dropped 4.2 to 4.1. Remember, we want the unemployment rate to be higher. The higher the unemployment rate, of course, the more of an opportunity for the Fed to step in, right? We know they have that dual mandate of inflation and employment, economic stability with spending, and of course, people not losing their jobs. If unemployment goes down, then technically the market is healthy and it could afford for the higher for longer for interest rate. So we have that one. If we look at, as I had mentioned, private payroll reduction, first time since March of 2023, a drop of 33,000 jobs. And the biggest point of it was both small and medium type employers. Of course, right? People are getting squeezed, which is interesting too, because usually around the summertime, right? Some people do get let go. Some people do get picked up for part-time. But as we'll see here, annual pay ticked up 4.4% for job stayers and then only a 6.8% for those change. I was reading also the quit rate was actually fairly low as well, meaning people are obviously afraid to get let go. We know the continuing jobless claims, right, where people get let go and then they simultaneously go is just shy of 2 million, right? So if we see that almost 1.964, and it's been close to 1.9 for 6 straight weeks, right? So if you get let go, it's becoming a very hard opportunity for you to actually go and find employment after you've been let go for a multitude of reasons, right? Literally over 26 weeks at last, and then of course continuing jobless claims continue to go from there. This week again, we are going to get not too much data. We're going to get the meetings from the last Fed meeting, the minutes. We are going to get obviously weekly unemployment claims, right? Howard's the unemployment market factoring in. Could we potentially hit the 2 million mark? And then, of course, we're going to have the 10-year Treasury auction and the 30-year bond market as well. So what we started doing also, guys, for everybody to make it easier is taking that entire report that we usually do every single Monday, which we will continue doing, and also now concising it to just a one-page newsletter that whether you're a client or you're a partner can easily read or share with your clients, right? We saw just like what we just did, June jobs report stronger than ever, right? The BLS. Private payroll, again, dropping by 33,000 jobs. May job opening and labor turnovers up to 7.7. But like I had mentioned, hiring rate and quit rate, again, staying near decade lows. People are afraid to, of course, quit their jobs. Unemployment claims, like I had mentioned, remaining at 2 million. Summarized version, right? Diving even further, Federal Reserve keeping a close eye on inflation and employment, which I mentioned. Private payrolls declining, like we had said, at the 33,000. Continuing jobless claims hitting 2 million, and the other side as well with a relatively quiet week. Okay. Now, one part I do also want to mention to us is when we talk about this big, beautiful bill breakdown. I've got a cool picture here. I will be sharing this with us later. A little bit of an even further analysis into this, right? What are some of the key topic points that I want us to look at, right? 3 million in spending is going to be obviously the sticking point, right? Higher inflation pressure. That means mortgage rates are likely to stay sticky. If you're waiting for 2 to 3%, like I have shot a video before, it's probably not going to happen, guys. Timing, obviously, your move is important. We know SALT, which is the state and local tax deduction, has popped to 40,000. It was originally at 10,000. Anyone earning under $500,000 in New Jersey, New York, and Cali, that's huge. You can now write off way more than you can in state and property taxes, which obviously helps to improve, DTIs and increase chances of being approved. New personal deductions, again, more cash flow. Bill allows deductions for tip up to 25,000, overtime up to 12, auto loan up to 10, which is a new one, and then additional 6K if you're over 65,000. Again, a lot of it may seem small, but it does add up and it does help from a qualification perspective. And the security basics that I want us to think about for your children, right? Tax credit up to $2,200 per kid. They're the new, can't make this up, Trump account that they're actually going to be coming out, allowing $1,000. Can be interesting for financial advisors. I'm going to get a lot more info on that, what their thoughts on it. But it's a tax deferred till the age of 18. It won't change, obviously, the housing market, but again, gives families some of that ability to obviously have some of that particular buying power. Green energy incentives, of course, right, got slashed. I'm a Tesla owner myself, so I was able to get that $7,500 federal tax credit, which obviously helped. Of course, could potentially yield to a higher utility cost. I was talking to a buddy of mine who works for a solar company. He had mentioned also some of the different impacts this has on his side of the business. Again, recapping it, guys. So what's the play here, right? We're not going to expect fantasy interest rates. It's not going to happen. We need to plan around for what's real, rerun the numbers, again, in a high tax state. SALT deduction, of course, could be a game changer. Max out on our new deductions to, of course, help improve our buying power. And last, take advantage of some of these benefits, right? Thinking about refinancing, of course, we know that these are going to eventually go away by 2028 once President Trump's term ends. So important for us to keep all these things into perspective. As you guys always know, we post these right when we're done on our Spotify channel, YouTube, and also on our website, gotmortgages.com. If you go gotmortgages.com/blogs, you will get every single market update that we have done since November of 2023. So definitely keep that in mind as you guys are obviously starting to really get familiar, or if you're a homeowner out there who would like to sit down and do a detailed analysis with you specifically. I like to structure all of our calls via Zoom for our initial touch, get to know us, get to understand exactly what the best options are for you, and we'll take it from there. Appreciate you guys jumping on, and I'll catch you guys next week. Have a great day.